The trod of living during this long darkness of capitalism, unhinged by neoliberalism, consumes my existence as well as yours. I wanted to bring you this article by J.M. Smith. He describes it so beautifully, what it is we're living through right now. He says, everyone is tired. The times we live have become an age of exhaustion. Overwork, underwork, the cost of living crisis, stress, the end of public health care, and a pandemic along with a forever war in Ukraine and a genocide in Gaza have derailed our society. It has left us no time to catch our breath. So we are weary, uncertain, angry, and very afraid. They are all the ingredients necessary to cause a flashpoint in history that either leads to revolutionary change or brutal suppression. But keeping on is not an option, even if we want to just do that. He describes it so well. It's like we're exhausted from work, which is how capitalism works. But then on top of that, you've got the moral exhaustion every day of watching our country and Israel commit genocide. The just epic moral exhaustion of watching our country continue to push a proxy war that has murdered hundreds of thousands in Ukraine. And I just brought to you the other day that Russia has said they want to sit down at a peace table and end it. And the U.S. and the West will not allow that. We've got to keep making sure as many people die as possible in Ukraine. Then of course, the genocide is just so morally exhausting. But then on top of that, you have just standard capitalist exhaustion, which is ramping up. The way I call it the gravity of capitalism. You know, you may start in a place that was a little better, you know, the 1950s, I guess, for white folks. And then in 1960, actually, the minimum wage, if it was technically like $1.60, but the $1.60 didn't mean what $1.60 means now. So back then, if you were to take the minimum wage of the 1960s and give it the same buying power and income distribution as we're in 2024, it would be like $25 an hour. So technically speaking, in that way, the minimum wage in the 1960s was higher, way higher. It's seven whatever here in the United States, $7 something. It's way higher than what it is now. And so things were better. And so that's capitalism starts that way. But the gravity of capitalism slowly contracts and crushes people more and more until there is a tiny, tiny number of people who are exorbitantly rich. There are more billionaires than ever before. They say we're on track to see the first trillionaire in the next 20 years or whatever. It's a tiny number of people, and everyone else just exploited to the nth degree. Because really, they're extracting us the same way they would extract oil or gold. Our life force is being dug out of us in the labor we produce, we give out, and our efforts to try and get by. And anyway, he's describing it so well. He says, I am physically, emotionally, and spiritually exhausted. I can't remember the last time I got a good night's sleep. When I am awake, I am grinding away at keeping myself alive, and it is a terrifying and energy-draining ordeal. The trod of living during this long darkness of capitalism, unhinged by neoliberalism, consumes my existence as well as yours. Okay, that sentence is so beautifully crafted, but I feel like I need to paint it like a banner across. Maybe I should just put it on that'll be the new ticker on the bottom of this show. The trod of living during this long darkness of capitalism, unhinged by neoliberalism, consumes my existence as well as yours. He continues, I know people from more privileged classes who are oblivious to the upheavals going on in our society. I know some of those people too, and they are oblivious. And they think that if Biden can just stay in office, then most of them, if Biden can just stay in office, then it'll be fine. And then there's others. There are some rich people who think if Trump just gets into office, things will be fine. No, things will not be fine either way, because guess what? It's one party. They are like a first class, he's talking about the rich right here, first class passenger on the Titanic, angered by all the commotion going on around them, including the call to lifeboat stations after their ship struck an iceberg. Titanic's always a great analogy. No matter what you're talking about, Titanic's a good analogy. There's a couple of scenes before when people start to realize the boat's sinking and the rich just keep talking about, like, are you going to dessert? Or like, what is everyone running around about? Like, there's a few scenes like that. And that's basically where we are right now, is the rich walking around going, what's all the commotion down there? Why? Why are people yelling? It's upsetting, That's where we are right now. And then he continues a little farther down. People from my class, however, are in the thick of it. We are touched by the disintegration of society every day. Decisions made in parliaments or corporate boardrooms designed to enrich the well-off must rob us first of our right to decent standard of living. Yet all the incremental economic policies that give cover to a corrupt status quo take years to arrive at our doorstep, if they ever do come at all. And, he's got a bunch more, but I'm just saying it's well written and well said, the exhaustion. And I think it really is that dual exhaustion. It's the exhaustion of trying to survive in this capitalist world that's spinning out of control, but combined with the moral exhaustion of seeing your country or the West in general perpetrate and facilitate and prop up a genocide going on right now in Gaza. It's a dual-edged sword of exhaustion, to mix my metaphors, but I think that worked appropriately. It's a dual-edged exhaustion.